Hey guys, so I've previously reviewed the Samsung S7 and the iPhone 6s, two of the great phone smartphones to date, but how do they compare? Let's take a quick look at the packaging. Having had many iPhones in the past, I am very familiar with Apple's style. Unboxing the Samsung S7 made me feel like I was taking a Samsung out of an iPhone box. You've got the plastic phone holder and the SIM pin tucked away inside the mini folder, which contains a few informative documents. Okay, so they're identical, big deal. Let's move on already. The two smartphones have a somewhat unique design, but there are some similarities. For example, the positioning of the external buttons and connectors are almost in the same place, with the exception of the SIM tray and camera, which Samsung moved to the top and the back of the phone. The S7 is also slightly bigger, with a 5.1-inch Super AMOLED display. The iPhone 6s is slightly smaller, with a 4.7-inch Retina HD display with a much lower pixel resolution. This really sets the two apart. The size difference isn't that noticeable though until you put them back to back. In the hand, both smartphones feel sturdy and typing feels nice and smooth on both too, so I couldn't really say which one I prefer. So what's actually inside them? Well, the S7 consists of a Snapdragon 820 processor, 4GB of RAM, a non-removable lithium battery, and is available in 32GB or 64GB internal memory. You can choose to expand this using an SD card, which is combined with the SIM tray holder. The iPhone 6s, on the other hand, is available in 16GB, 64GB or 128GB, but as you probably already know, it does not support SD cards, hence I went for 64GB because 16 really isn't enough these days. The 6s consists of an A9 64-bit chip with an embedded M9 motion code processor and 2GB of RAM. The camera is without a doubt the most impressive feature of the S7. It is the first smartphone to have a dual pixel sensor, and this is a technology that was originally made for DSLR cameras. It has a 12-megapixel rear camera with fast autofocus and brightness enhancement, so all you're going to get is amazing quality, even in low lighting. The front camera is 5 megapixels, just like with the iPhone 6s. In fact, the megapixels on both phones are exactly the same, but the quality is superior on the S7, and that's because of the technology behind it. Take a look at the photo differences. Both smartphones are capable of 4K video recording, but again, this is where the iPhone 6s sits slightly behind the Galaxy S7 in terms of picture quality. Saying that, I'm still very impressed with the iPhone's 4K recording. Aside from 4K, the 6s also supports slow-mo recording at 120 frames per second and features time-lapse too. Let's fast forward to the next feature. Last year, Apple introduced Live Photos, a fun feature that records a few extra seconds when taking a photo. Samsung have now introduced a similar feature called Motion Photo. The advantage with Samsung's feature is that you can capture a still whilst watching the photo in motion. So if you don't like the one that was taken, you can choose to capture the second before instead. You've just got to hit the capture button at the precise moment. Good little feature? I think so. A long-lasting battery is what we all wish for in a smartphone, but which one needs to be plugged in the quickest? You've probably guessed already. The S7 holds a bigger battery. It has a 3000 mAh line battery, whilst the 6s has just over half that, 1715 mAh. The good thing about the S7 is its fast charging feature, which when enabled can charge the phone from 0 to 100% in 90 minutes. The Samsung Galaxy S7 isn't just a great phone, and it stands out from the iPhone 6s due to its additional features. It is IP68 certified. It is dust-proof and water-resistant over 1.5 meters. The always-on display just means that the screen is never off. When it's lying idle, the S7 shows the date, battery percentage and level indicator as well as the time by default. If you have any notifications, a count of those will also be displayed. You're not restricted to the view and idle though, as you can also choose to show a 1-month calendar or even an image in addition to the defaults. I chose to turn this feature off as I personally don't think it's exciting or needed, and it uses up the battery unnecessarily. Samsung claim that it only uses about 1% per hour, but in a complete day that's almost a quarter of the battery level. Is it really worth it? My first impressions of the S7 were that it's a brilliant phone, and a month later I feel exactly the same. It really is a great all-round phone. It has good tech specs, some fantastic features, and don't even get me started on the camera. I was impressed by Apple's 4K video recording and the photo quality on the 6S, but Samsung took it to another level with their fancy dual sensors that make an obvious difference. I've never been a fan of Android's interface, but the design of the latest software looks miles better. On the whole though, I have to say Samsung's S7 is the winner, without a doubt. If you weren't so sure on getting it, be sure. You will not be disappointed. If you're someone who will not move away from iOS or Apple, then the 6S is the obvious choice. It's got a brilliant camera, the display is perfect for watching videos and playing games, and it's super responsive, even when running lots of apps simultaneously. So which one will you get? The choice is yours, but you can get either one on giffgaff's website. The links can be found below. Thanks for watching.